Their aura is unequal.
Well, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Or whatever. And they make it a little more raspy, and I follow directions.
Their contents are legendary.
Like that little sheet you see is his concept drawing.
Their attitude is embraced. Tune in to one of the most up and rising kaiju-sized groups within our community. So go ahead and watch all of their creative content, including that of the Raw Attitude live interview, where they have special guests ranging from actors, directors, toy creators, artists, and many, many more. You can also find them on multiple of other social media platforms, ranging from Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You could even sit back and watch your favorite classic monster movie and even watch us go through one of the most iconic games on Twitch. Featuring your hosts, Eric Stowe, Adrian Settle, Joe Myers, Samson West, Jordan Adorno. They are the Monsters with Attitude.
Oi, top of the morning to you, or afternoon to you. Either way, welcome in, Monsters with Attitude, folks, crew, and everywhere, everyone in between. Really, y'all chose me to host this? So, it's a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday for living. It's a good Sunday for collecting, and it's a good Sunday for Bandai. How is everyone else doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Good. Yeah. So aside from myself, Mr. Samson West, who can't travel away from the East, we have our other awesome co-host. To this way of me, we have our Puerto Rican prince, Jordan Adorno.
What is going on, everybody? I cannot wait for today's show. Work has not been any type of good to me this past week, so this has been something I've been looking forward to for the longest, and so I am extremely happy to be here.
Good. Awesome. And to even further this way of you, we have the Schmo, Joe.
What's up, players?
The Schmo Show.
What's going on, everybody?
Word up, no.
Here. Happy to be in the passenger seat for the first time in a while. Get to kind of lay back and let somebody else take control today.
Oh, geez. I like your beard decoration for today. Looks good.
It's my microphone, so you can hear me.
And directly below me, we have the conductor of the Kaiju train himself, Mr. Adrian Settle.
What's up? I'm good, Samson. I've been looking forward to this show. Also, Bandai was probably one of the very first things I started collecting once I got into collecting. So this will be an interesting show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, likewise. I think we can all honestly say that it's a pretty big one in our community for sure. And last but not least, we all have the beard, but he is the beardiest, Mr. Eric Snot Stop. Stop.
If you like Bandai, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What?
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 Yes. What? Indeed. I feel like, okay.
Oh, he's so out of the loop. Damn.
I guess so. So all these exciting folks here, and not only that, we have to acknowledge chat, of course. Okay, I guess first up is our freshest of vinylist of dudes, Mr. Rich Iso. Thank you for being here, pal.
What's up, Rich?
We have to acknowledge the very, 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 very first chat. Fanciest of cats, and this quote,
Very
I should
flattering.
say.
Can I read it so that way you don't have to
go for it. You do what you got to do, bro.
Fancies of Cat says, I want to sign 8x10 of Samson doing the wrestler Shawn Michaels Playgirl pose. For those of you that don't know, that's when he's laying like this. Instead of a championship, use the Godzilla Limited Super Toho 30 centimeter series 1999 Godzilla to cover his twig and berries. Thank you. And I agree. MWA calendar, anybody? I think so.
I will take that as
boy.
the highest of compliments right there.
There you go.
And we can't forget our kingest of Kongiest fans out there, Nathaniel Plummer. How are you? And welcome. Oh, great. Everybody take a shot already. We just got here.
The night is young.
Michael Sontag. If I pronounce your name incorrectly, I apologize for sure. And we already acknowledged this fresh bastard. So welcome back in again. And John McCoy. Hey guys, .. Is that a positive ... or a negative ... Hopefully it's a good ...
Hopefully.
I hope it's a good ... too.
Rich, you need to let us know when your schedule's free so you can jump on a show.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
No kidding. I was tempted to see if he wanted to pop in, being the big Bandai guy he is, but he had stuff going on today already.
Understand.
So
No worries.
it's all good.
He don't love
So,
us.
Joe, this is now your time to shine with the plug that you're familiar with.
For all of you lovely listeners with attitude, for all your collecting and memorabilia needs, make sure you guys check out super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024, where you guys can use the promo code, or no, I'm sorry, not promo code. Go to the address itself, super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024 for all your Super 7 collectible and memorabilia needs. And it's not just Godzilla stuff that site is good for. It is anything off of their website. So please do us all a huge favor and help support the show so we can reinvest it and keep growing ourselves. And yeah, we really appreciate it.
Couldn't have said it better or at all myself. So, Oscar the Pimps. Welcome in, bro. So let's get into the nitty grittiness of all this. If you are any fan of Godzilla, you probably know what Bandai is. It has been around for a very long time. It's actually been around before Godzilla, but that is what is most familiar. That's what we're most familiar with it for. Godzilla, other tokusatsu properties, and the likes. So I have a script here that I'm going to read off of while I show some slides to talk about its beginnings as far as Godzilla is concerned. Because, guys, I apologize, but there was no way that I was going to be able to cover every tokusatsu property and aspect of Bandai. That would take a very, very long time, and we would not be able to do it tonight. Plus, I'm a kaiju racist and only focus on Godzilla anyways. So that is where I know my stuff, and that is where I can comfortably sit here and talk about things. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, bring on the Bandai. So, as I stated in the beginning, if you're a big enough fan of, did I type my own script wrong? Great. If you're a big enough Godzilla fan, you've most likely heard of Bandai. But where did it all get started? Well, the first Godzilla figure by Bandai was released in 1983. It was that of Godzilla 1962 from King Kong versus Godzilla. And like all Bandai figures, it came with a tag. But not only that, the very first Bandai Godzilla came in a bag as well, a translucent bag. Did anybody know that? Did y'all know that?
Yep, I did know that actually.
Joe, you show boater. So that's interesting. Why they chose this one specifically in 1983? Who knows? I don't know anybody from 1983, so I can't honestly say why they chose this one. But the following year, we would get 4 more figures that were known as the Godzilla Collection. That is what they decided to call this in 1984, the 30th anniversary of Godzilla himself. Also, the return of Godzilla with, well, Godzilla 1984, Return of Godzilla. So we got 4 anniversary figures: Godzilla 64, Ghidorah 64, Mechagodzilla 74, and Godzilla 84 for the year itself. No way. You actually got the bag, and okay, wow, Mr. Big Spender. Wow. He's got the exclusive clear bag, you guys. On top of that, for Godzilla's 30th anniversary, there were a few more figures released in a larger scale known as the Great Monster Series line. Those were consisting of a 18-inch Godzilla 1964, the more popular bronze version, which is a holy grail for a lot of collectors. I've seen, do y'all remember It Came from Japan on Animal Planet, the show. It was a special from back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I remember that.
I can't remember the name of the collector, but he was talking about like holy grails, and this is the one specifically that he mentioned in that when he was talking about his collection. Like, this is the one that everybody wants to achieve, the bronze Godzilla. There was also a giant Mothra larva, and again, this is for Godzilla's 30th anniversary, so these are all anniversary monsters. Giant Mothra larva, and a very radical figure. It has many names, but the most notable one is Fragile Wing Ghidorah. Why? Because those wings, I used to have this, you guys. Those wings were huge and heavy, and there were tiny little slots on the back of this thing for it to slip into. Ooh, yeah. Most fans and collectors had theirs broken. The tabs broke because they were very thin and weighed significantly more than the wings. The wings weighed more than the tabs.
Yeah.
So yes, that is where we are going to pause for our first bit of history and actually get into some questions. But before I do, is there anything that y'all want to say in regards to Bandai's humble beginnings in the Godzilla fandom?
I mean, I don't have much to comment on it other than I'm glad that they did get into the kaiju game, because who knows where they would have been if they started later. So I'm glad they started when they did.
Absolutely, because what I didn't say that I forgot to say in the very beginning, they started in 1953, if I did read correctly, and they were a metal model maker. They made metal models of like cars and other just model kits, and they did that throughout the 60s and 70s, and then they were sold to Japan I think they got bought out, so Japan bought them, and thus we have what we have now. So that's our humble beginning. We only had a few figures from 83 to 84, but it does continue into the 80s, but we'll get into that shortly.
I have a quick question. With those specific figures that you just shown us, does anybody in here own those figures?
Look to your left.
Oh,
Of course.
There's only, I think the last I did a count, I think there's only 10 Bandai that I don't own.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
You're
that's
a bigger
not including stuff that has just come out in the past year, because
Yeah.
I always pick up all that stuff at G Fest. So yes, technically the stuff that came out after G Fest of last year I don't own, but I will once I get to G Fest. But as far as everything else released, my last count, I was just around 10 that I didn't have.
Look, we got Big Baller in here, everybody.
Now, with all the ones,
I know when I started, at G Fest. I mean, I've been going to G Fest since 2000, so 25 years. Like when I was a kid, 25 years ago, X Plus really wasn't a thing. All these other big, statues and whatever, they weren't really, they weren't really popular. They weren't really a big thing. It was Bandai. So the first probably 5 to 8 years of me going to G Fest was really, I mean, I picked up every Bandai. That was the majority of what I got. So it wasn't like, I just picked them all up in the past 5 years and spent hundreds of dollars per figure. I was lucky enough to be at G Fest and at places when they were released.
Wow.
Well, you are honestly, you are taking the lead on our first question, which I'll just go ahead and showcase real quick. How important is Bandai in your collection? How important is it to you as a collector? How important is it in your collection? And you pretty much you front run that already.
Yeah. Before I continue, Samson, check the chat real quick. It was very important. It was the personal chat. Our private chat, Samson. I mean, it was a huge cornerstone of my collection because like I just kind of said in the beginning at G Fest, that's really what a big variety of vendors really only sold. So I was able to get a lot of it. Eric's seen my collection. There's Bandai literally on every shelf, and that doesn't even include just Godzilla, you know, the Gamera and Ultraman, the Mothra series, Yamato Takuru. And I mean, Bandai, I honestly feel like as time has progressed, it's gotten even more important. You know, a lot of people might forget this, but Bandai did the Megazords and stuff and the figures for Power Rangers. You know, in recent years, Bandai bought a controlling interest of X Plus. So, yeah, Bandai is really, honestly, I feel like at this point, the cornerstone of everyone's collection. But if we're talking old school figure and tag, I think it's a great way to start for any new collector. I really do. Don't worry about those $200, $300, $400 figures. Start with Bandai.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better, man. It's funny you mentioned Power Rangers. I have this little fella right here. I have a plethora of like a bunch of Bandais laid out all over the place, specifically for the show. But I mean, that alone is very self-explanatory as to what Bandai means in my collection. It's a stepping stone for collectors, and it is definitely one that there's not a single collector that I don't know that doesn't own anything that is under the Bandai brand. And if there's anybody in the chat watching this that doesn't own a Bandai, you guys need to get your crap together and start getting Bandai, because how do you not own Bandai, you know? It was everywhere that I was able to come across growing up as a kid. So just it has that nostalgia feature. And seeing where it's going at now, it's incredible and unbelievable, the lengths that they've been going as of late. So yeah, Bandai is awesome, and it is a pivotal brand in my collection.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's one of the lines that I first started collecting. Like my real kind of figure. Like I mean, you can't ever, for me, you can't throw shadow on the Imperial Godzilla, because that was like my first Godzilla, you know. And I think that's a lot, you know, for a lot of us. But like what line and the type of figures, the look of figures that actually looked like the characters. It was Bandai, honestly. I remember my first Bandai figure was the Destroya in the 6-inch Movie Monster series. That was my first one, and then I got the Godzilla 94 right after that. They weren't tagged. I didn't even know what the tag was. They came, you know, untagged, and they were, you know, like $15, and I was super stoked. And from there, it kind of went downhill, honestly. Then I just started going on that and collecting all those. So I got into the Bandai kind of collecting late in the game. I never got into the earlier stuff, and really still haven't, honestly. I jump in and out of the Bandai train, honestly, especially with the Movie Monster series. But I mean, obviously we know like Bandai has their fingerprint on like almost everything in the community, which is absolutely ridiculous and bonkers. So it's hard to say that, you know, not one collector has something that's, you know, been produced or made or distributed by Bandai themselves. But like, I just haven't gotten to that old vintage stuff yet, because let's face it, they are vintage. They are super old figures. And I haven't
when were you born?
To that yet. 85.
74.
Before we keep going, we have a very special honorable guest that just blooped in. The one, the only, Mr. Fresh Bottle!
What's up, guys?
Long time no see. So the stars aligned anyway. I swear to God, I thought about inviting you into this, but I knew you had other stuff going on today, so I didn't know if you'd be down.
Yeah, I'm down. It's a busy day, content-wise. So thanks for the invite. It's been fun watching you guys over, I don't know how long, you know, consistently. But thanks for having me on. Let's do this.
Of course.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll keep on trucking down the line here and let Adrian share his thoughts, and then on to you.
So, like as I mentioned before, like and kind of like Eric, Bandai was the first time I really started collecting. I want to say my first Bandai was Titanosaurus, of course. And even though I don't have a whole lot of Bandai in my collection now, there are a few that I kind of want to go back some of the vintage ones I want to go back and find, just because of what they do mean to Godzilla and collecting in general at the end of the day. So, like Jordan kind of said, if you don't have at least some type of Bandai in your collection, are you really a collector? Let's be honest.
You got to have something. I think it's a very important fingerprint. Somebody said here, it's a very important fingerprint in the community, and I don't see how somebody couldn't. How can somebody not have something by them?
Somebody mentioned it in the chat. I don't know if it's true or not, but is Bandai the biggest toy company in Japan? I don't know of anybody that would be bigger.
That was John McCoy.
John McCoy.
I believe, yeah, they are absolutely the largest because they cover.
I think they are too.
Eric, you said they have their staple on or their stamp on pretty much everything now. Like you see it on X Plus boxes, and I mean they have their other like side branch toy lines. SH Monster Arts. What did you say? What's the Sakai?
Yeah, Ichiban Kuji.
Ichiban, yeah.
The Crane Games. I mean, Premium Bandai. I mean, their whole line of 6-inch, 8-inch. I mean, good lord, like they're just gobbling it all up, just like WWE is. So
yep. Bandai has the license to most everything in Japan, you know, as far as distribution and licensing goes. So that's why you see Bandai like on X Plus boxes now, which I thought was weird at first, but it makes sense at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, Rich, I pretty much know the answer to this question for you, but you've been in this game for a long time as well, and I've seen your stuff. You might, I don't know if you can beat Joe, but you're pretty close, probably.
Well, Joe said you have like almost every Bandai figure.
Yeah, Godzilla,
awesome.
not Ultraman, and
yeah,
just
the Godzilla stuff.
Yeah,
up till probably 2005. Or before, like this other big boom that started in 2016 with Shin Godzilla, I had almost everything. And then over the last few years, or like, I don't know, 5-6 years or whatever, I sold a lot of the duplicates. I didn't need like 4 6-inch Space Godzillas, 4 Heisei Ghidorahs, et cetera, et cetera. So no, I don't have everything, Sam.
Well, I know you're also a tag enthusiast. You love to have your stuff tagged, like our boy.
Absolutely, the only way you're supposed to them is with tags.
Yep, really? Because these.
Oh my god, that's travesty.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah,
look at him.
For real.
All right, quick vote on removing Samson from the island. All in favor, raising their hand.
Did I agree to let fucking Rich in here? Oh shit!
Rich can celebrity host the show. We're getting rid of Samson.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know why I decided to bring him in. Anyways, yeah. Well, as you saw in the thumbnail itself, it's pretty important for me as well. It's like the main focus of the middle of my room, and also in the far corner, I got some more cubbies with Bandai stuff. It was my humble beginnings. My absolute first figure in Godzilla at all was the Bandai 6-inch King Caesar. I got it at a comic shop when I was, I guess it was the 1998 toy line. So I was 7. And that's how I got started with this stuff. I still have it, the exact same one. So it's pretty important, and I have a lot of catching up to do.
Well, we did just have Eric Bischoff on, so he wrote Rich a very large check to jump ship.
Yeah.
You need to have a Cam shirt on and then tear it to reveal an MWA shirt.
Damn.
Be fresh vinyl NWA revenge.
Yes.
Yes. Pressure. Oh man.
Good stuff.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rich. It's awesome to have you. It was seriously in the back of my mind. I was like, man, I want to invite a special guest, and the one that I was thinking of, dear good old friend, was Mr. Fresh Vinyl himself.
Hey,
but
we're the original Fresh Vinyl crew here, so you know what's up. You know where your allegiance stands, just in case that show comes back. When you fresh vinyl, you're fresh vinyl for life.
All right, starting bids. Okay.
One bad
Rich, I'll pay you to take Samson.
I'll pay you guys to keep him. You guys adopted him, so
I got 10 cents.
It's become the roast of Samson.
Dude, for real.
Oh, great. I know there's a picture floating around out there that can be brought up for that.
the one that
Oh, God.
walking
It
around.
sure is.
Yep, that's the one, Rich.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, getting back on track. So that is okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for answering that. And then we'll continue on down the line with the rest of the history. That is, hang on. Oh, remove. Add. There we go. So as I stated, the early 80s, in 83 and 84, we got those awesome figures for, well, the year before and the year of the 30th anniversary. Well, it was Bandai was going to continue through the late 80s and into the 90s with more toys to coincide with other tokusatsu properties. It's not just Godzilla. There's Toho, like Mogira, Mothra. You had who else? I don't have all the pictures and slides. Let's see. On the back of this box here, you can see there's a bunch of different kaiju. Yeah, Megalon, Gigan. This is the back of the Biollante box.
Mhm.
But they were going to cover different tokusatsu properties, Mechanicong from King Kong Escapes, and just many more. So where did I go with my script? Da-da-da-da-da. So they were going to cover all of the Heisei films, of course, that being 1989's Biollante, 91's versus King Ghidorah, 92's versus Mothra. I couldn't find a good picture of the Mothra and Batra. Because nobody has good ones of them out of the box, so I just didn't include them. Of course, 93's versus Mechagodzilla, 94's Space Godzilla, and 95's Destroya, which was supposed to be the death of Godzilla. We were not supposed to get any more after that, so that is where it was going to be laid to rest. But we know better. We all know better. So that was, let's see. In 1995, they released a 40th anniversary memorial box set. This was the first time that they would do something like this, since there was no 30th anniversary set. They just had a bunch of figures. Why they waited until the year after, I don't know. But we did get the 40th anniversary memorial box set, which was a lot of repaints of previously released Bandai figures, but all very popular and unique sculpts. So they just put different paint schemes on each of these and released it as a box set. As I said, it comes in a big box. I don't believe they were tagged because I can't see a tag on any one of these. They all had their own individual little cards instead, and they were movie posters for the films that they were each in. If I'm thinking right,
correct. Yep.
I do not have this memorial box. I didn't get this one because I was 4, so I didn't have this. I do love the Ghidorah from this set specifically. It looks really good. I don't know. It's very blank and plain, but there's something about the way that this one looks that I like the most. But the year after that, we would get what was known as the Forever series, which was a limited run of previously released sculpts, but with unique and now sought after paint schemes. A lot of rare looking boys in there. The better looking Mecha King Ghidorah, the glitter Godzilla that a lot of fans love that thing, and the Rodan with the actual veins on its wings. All very radical designs that are very popular amongst fans. And I don't know what the run, like the number for the run of these was, but they're sought after, to say the least. So yeah, that is going to be our next break in the history of Bandai, where we covered new sculpts that we hadn't seen before, and it covered every single Heisei movie throughout, well, the 90s. They covered all the films, and they did a great job.
Yeah.
So, where does all of that stand with you guys? Jordan, how does the late or the 90s run of the Bandai stuff sit with you? Anything that you want, anything that you have, anything that you need?
I, for the longest, especially regarding the Forever series, have been on the hunt for that glitter Godzilla. It's, I mean, I can I sit here and say that I'm pretty much speaking on behalf of everybody who doesn't want to have that in their freaking collection. You know, it's a gemstone. It's something that, again, and not only that, but it is also a part of one of my favorite Heisei Godzilla movies, in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. So that has been something I've always eyed my entire life, including all the other, plethora of other figures that you have showcased within your beautiful slides. But it's just like that is the era of Godzilla, specifically for Bandai's sake, that made me want to, in Eric's words, live the thrill of the hunt. These were, and to this day, these are figures I'm still eyeing for. Again, specifically the glitter Godzilla, the meltdown burning Godzilla, if that's what it was called, the Rodan, the King Ghidorah I own separately alongside the Godzillasaurus and a few other of the Bandai figures. Megalon I own, but nonetheless, it's again, I'm gonna keep on saying this, and it's gonna sound repetitive, but these are pivotal moments for Bandai, and especially for us as Godzilla fans, that made us truly want to like live the hype, and if not that, like want to be able to brag to everybody whenever we were showcasing our collections, like, hey, you know what, you see this little bad boy, this is worth thousands of dollars, or like something along the lines of, this is a hot commodity, like you don't know crap, but let me tell you something. And I've been lucky to have that experience with so many people. But yeah, like the 90s portion of Bandai collecting is, oh my goodness, still something that I talk really, really highly of to this day.
Awesome. Well, we're going to change the order and go directly below you. Adrian.
For me, as far as the 90 Bandais go, there's not very many I've been trying to go after necessarily. Maybe definitely go to Godzilla, because I mean, of course, everyone who knows that Godzilla is probably one of the most sought after Godzilla figures in Bandai history, and I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that. Probably that Mecha King Ghidorah too, because it does look really good. But besides that, there wouldn't be too much I would get from this era of Bandai. But everything does look great. I'm sure everyone loved that 40th anniversary box set for sure.
Oh, most definitely.
That's a little surprising to hear from you, as much as of a Heisei fan that I know that you are. So that's why I'm surprised that you don't want to get like an iteration of every single one of those things.
Well, I did forget I don't have Godzillasaurus. I do need to find that. That is true.
Yeah, X Plus is slacking on that one.
They really are.
Well, we're gonna go the other direction next to you and give Rich the floor. We know do you have the majority of these, or did you get any of the Memorial Box or Forever series? Actually, I know about the Forever series. It's in that video where I visited your house.
The Forever
compilation. Yes, the Forever series.
Yeah. So 80s and 90s, I kind of just wrap up into like one basket per se. That was magic. Those figures are still magical for me personally. When I sold off a bunch of Bandai figures, I didn't, with the exception of the 40th anniversary Memorial Box set that I had, that went to another awesome collector. I'm having a brain fart on his name right now, so he'll have to forgive me if he's watching. But I kept everything else. I was never intending to sell anything from the 90s down. And with that group of figures, I think I want to say almost everything. I don't have a damn tag Ghidorah, but I have all like the 80s stuff and pretty much all the 90s stuff. But that Forever series, yeah, that's magic. Like that set was like when I first started learning about the Forever series in the late 90s, early 2000s, whichever it was, I was like, I need this set. Like that was like an elite set to have back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So if you're hunting those pieces down, grab it. But yeah, I love the 90s stuff.
1995 to, I mean, that was you got 30 years. You got to think 30 years back. So good luck, folks. That's gonna
96.
96 was the Forever series. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, I have that in my own stupid script. So never mind. I have been ignoring chat a little bit here. Let's see who has what to say. Leslie, of course.
I saw that.
Oh, goodness. And Shingeki Tom. Well, I know who you are. Tom. Ooh, this is actually an interesting.
If we get into too much trouble at G Fest, I only live an hour south, so we got a safe house to escape to.
Now, this is actually a topic of controversy, maybe. Yeah. What is everyone's thoughts on Bandai creation? That's later on down the line for sure. That's more in the early 2000s territory. I mean, I'll go ahead and speed run it. I don't really care for it too much. The sculpts are not as good as classic Bandai. They were neat to see in toy stores like Toys R Us, just being able to walk in and they were right there. KB Toys and Toys R Us, but they don't hold as strong a place in my heart as the actual Bandai license.
Okay. Yeah. I will keep my comments to the portion when we reach the timeline.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Let's see. What else? Do I still, I said this earlier, I don't have it anymore. I do not. I used to. And funny enough, I actually glued, because the tabs did break off, I glued the wings into place and I had it propped up on other figures on the shelf. And that's how he stayed for a long time. But I don't own it anymore. I do not. I do not. Sure about that? You sure about that?
Stop drinking that juice on Barrow Island. It's messing with your thoughts.
For real.
For real.
Well, to get back on track and not leave you boys out on the far right, Eric, yeah, your thoughts on what I just said with the slides in the 90s and stuff.
Honestly, I think that set and all of those sets that you described are probably what really put Bandai on the map. Because Heisei is probably the most popular era of Godzilla, especially in Japan. Everybody loves everything that came out of the Heisei era. I mean, the suit designs, the characters, the movies themselves. I mean, it's a fan favorite over there. For me, also, it is too. It was my favorite era as I was growing up because that's what I grew up with. But as I'm getting older, I have transferred to the Showa more, but I still love Heisei, and it still holds a special place in my heart, honestly. But honestly, a lot of those figures still was before my time for collecting Bandai, honestly, because I started with the movie Monster series. I didn't get any of those, and I still have yet to get any of these previous ones yet. As I stated before, like I've been on a Bandai kick, but I jump on and off the train. I'll go super strong for like a year, and then I give it up for a year, and I don't collect it at all, and I'll go to something else. Recently, I've been back on a kick, and I have been collecting all the movie Monster series that I missed out and keeping up with all the new stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm trying. So I do plan on going back and trying to get those older sets, because as I'm getting older and seeing these sets and these figures, I'm showing and feeling more appreciation towards them. And just looking at them, I really kind of want to get those, because those are history right there, in the box sets and the individual figures. And I want that in my collection. I want to show history in my collection also, along with the new stuff. I want to get that older stuff too. So I don't have a lot of that, if not any of it, but I am going to hopefully in the near future start hunting this stuff down. But I think that stuff really kind of up the Godzilla collecting game with those sets. And like I said, just kind of put Bandai on the map and jump-started Godzilla collecting.
All right. Joseph?
I'll be honest, I have no idea what your question was, so I'm just going to piggyback off of what Eric said. I don't think people can understand the. Sorry, I don't think people can. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. Can appreciate just how popular and sought after. The Forever series and Biollante, Death Ghidorah, Grand King Ghidorah were in the late 90s, early 2000s. And like Eric said, that's really kind of what put Bandai on the map. And there wasn't X Plus or, you know, Spiral or Omega Beast or all these different statue companies out there that were making stuff. So those Bandais were just kind of like grails. Like I remember buying the Biollante and Death Ghidorah at my first G Fest, and people literally stopping me, being like, "Oh my gosh, you got," like, it was a big deal. Now most people, I mean, let's be honest, probably wouldn't think too much about it. They'd be like, "Oh, that's cool," but you probably might not get stopped and be like, "Oh my gosh, like, let me see it." So they really were something special back in the day, before all these other companies came out with these magnificent products. So again, I had no idea what your question is. I hope that answered it.
Yeah, it was just pretty much reacting to what you saw throughout the 90s there, as I'm covering the history, just how it changed and what you thought about it. The difference between what we saw in the 80s and the 90s, it's pretty astronomical. We got really good sculpts, really good quality figures that we hadn't gotten before. We hadn't seen anything that was like really accurate to what it looked like in the movies until now. Because if you think about the original Bullmark, or actually I can't think of any other retro figure companies that made them back in the day, but Bandai was the first to really coin the screen accurate looking figures.
Yeah, Bachelor Larva, phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh, I know. That's how you got started.
That was my first one.
Wow. Bachelor Larva. Now, did you get that at G Fest or a comic shop, or how did you get your?
So I bought that figure. I want to say it was sometime in 1994 from a comic book shop, literally like a mile up the street from my house, that I used to go to ride my bike up there. And the comic book shop, that's where I first started buying Dark Horse comics, G-Fan. It's where I got my first 4 Heisei films on bootleg from 91 through Space Godzilla. But they were going out of business. The comic book shop was going out of business, and he had they had the Bachelor Larva there tagged for $10.
Wow.
You know, and
Wow.
yeah, $10. Bought it, and that was the moment. Prior to that, I was collecting Treadmasters figures, and when I bought that Bandai Batra, that was my gateway into what I felt like I'm in the real game now. You know, I just jumped up to the big leagues, so that was a defining moment for collecting for me. You know, so yeah.
Does everybody remember their first Bandai? Rich, you said yours was Bachelor Larva.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sam. So what is it?
This is excellent. That's part of the show. We're going back and forth. We're talking about what's important, and I mean that's relatable. Boom, right here.
King Caesar. Okay, Jordan, do you remember yours?
Yes, it is part of the slides. I will say, it's no longer in my possession, but I did buy something to properly replace it.
Right on. Adrian?
Mine was Titanosaurus. I don't have them anymore, but eventually I'll buy them back, I think.
Was it the original one with like the lighter paint scheme, or the Toys Dream Project one?
The Dreams Project one, I believe.
Easy E?
Yeah, like I stated, mine was the Destroya movie monster series. That was my first one. So, and I still have it to this day.
My first two, like I said earlier, my first G Fest was G Fest 2000. So it was actually the Godzilla Orga two band. I bought them at the same time. So those were my first. Because I've said this a million times. I live out in a small little hodunk town. There was no comic book store or anything for me to collect anything outside of Trendmasters. Like if Toys R Us or J.C. Penney, something like that didn't, Walmart didn't sell it, I didn't have access to it. So.
Well, I can't believe I did leave out what Leslie and Eric has right in front of them. The larger scale, the bigger scale Godzilla 91. That boy, I do remember that came in a box.
Mhm.
Just like the Great Monster series. Is he part of the Great Monster series, or is he's not? That's not what they don't coin that as that. There's an episode of Pawn Stars or something where somebody brings that in, isn't there? Like somebody brings it in and like Chumley, the fat one, he's like, "Oh man, I remember Godzilla. This is awesome."
Not that one. It was a Godzilla figure, but it was of another brand. But yeah, no, it wasn't anything Bandai related.
I thought it was that, which is why I was excited. I was like, "Oh my god, this is me. I'm that guy." Well, let me go to the next question.
Wasn't it the Horizon that was on the pawn? I think it was the Horizon Godzilla that was on the pawn show.
I don't remember. It's definitely.
I thought that was Shogun. That was a Shogun Godzilla.
Pawn shows, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked.
It's all good. We're talking about it has to do with what we're doing here. All right. Well, to keep the flow going, let's go to question number 2 from my video slides.
Hey, what about this?
So, Harry, is it just another toy company, or do we believe and think? I mean, is Bandai vital to the popularity of Tokusatsu? If it weren't for Bandai putting out what they do, would these fandoms be as popular and big? Because I mean, amongst collectors and kids, they get introduced to this stuff. When they get more of it, they're like, "Oh, what's this monster from? I want to see that movie that it's in." So, how do we feel about Bandai as being vital to the popularity of Tokusatsu and Godzilla? Just everything, you know. Let's start at the bottom right-hand corner with Eric this time.
So I'll keep my answer a little bit brief because I kind of went off and kind of told you how important it is. But I just kind of want to add
How dare you have opinions?
It seems that Bandai has and releases these things every so often, and it's almost like perfect timing to reinvigorate Godzilla fans, collectors, especially the younger fans. A lot of the stuff that we collect, let's face it, it was for kids. It was not for adults. It's not for anybody else. It was for kids. So even to touch on the Bandai creation, I understand it's not for everybody. It's not what we like because obviously we have graduated up in our collecting likes and what we expect. But let's be honest. If we were 5, 6, 7 years old and we saw that shit, we'd be grabbing that shit, asking mom and dad, like, "Hey, grab me this, buy me this, please. This is amazing." That's what we have to really think back and be like, okay, this is for kids. This is why they're doing this. This is for the next generation to start becoming collectors and fans like we were. I mean, our tastes have changed. We're getting older. We can afford different things. We can afford the luxurious big guys, in the back, and that's what we want. But like, let's be honest, like this stuff is made for kids, and Bandai does such a good job with kind of bringing in the next generation of kids each time with a different line or, re-releasing their figures to look a little bit more different. So yeah, they're super, super vital to the toy industry and the Godzilla community as a whole.
Sweet. Thank you for that explosive opinion. Adrian, let's get yours since you don't have any Bandai stuff.
Oh my god. No, honestly, I agree with everything that Eric said. I'm not gonna rehash everything, but yeah, really, it's important. It is vital because it is bringing in a brand new generation of Godzilla fans. Every time we do get anything re-released or new things that come out, we're still building this fandom that's 71 years old this year. So I think it's definitely vital to Tokusatsu and Godzilla in general.
Well, right on. Joe, I'm not going to make you go last this time. Let's go ahead and hear what your bearded face has to say.
I'll keep it simple and sweet. Yes, absolutely. It is vital to the popularity of Tokusatsu in general, not just Godzilla, but all the brands. What they've done and branched out allows so many kids, like Eric said, to play with their favorite monster or figure or hero, whatever, but also opens the possibility of them to experience these things. I can remember myself as a kid. One of the guys that's on my top 5 later on, I saw him as a Bandai, and it was an Ultra Kaiju, and I was like, what is that? And because of that, it brought me more into Ultraman. So yes, absolutely. And just real quickly, I mean, Bandai does Zoids. They do Digimon. They do Power Rangers. Like, I mean, yes, absolutely. Without Bandai, there would be so many, I think, less fans of these products. Because let's be honest, like Eric said, we're all kids, and even now, Eric is fucking 50-something years old. He still collects toys. You know, we still.
Right. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Okay.
Yeah, right. You're damn tall enough to be the giraffe. You know,
I'll be a spokesperson. That's okay.
For real. No, like we're all kids still at heart, and we want to see them and touch them and play with them, and it broadens the horizons. Absolutely, they're vital, and I don't see anybody making an argument that they're not.
Good. I'm glad. I didn't think anybody would not have that opinion, but I just wanted to hear. Rich, let's hear your bitch of an answer.
Okay. Literally to echo what Joe and Eric said. These figures are made for kids. You know, they're toys at the end of the day. We collect them, yes, but when you think about like the pricing and the accessibility that there are to them, like especially in Japan, like if you've been to Japan, you can't go a day without walking past a store and not seeing Bandai figures hanging somewhere, be it Ultra Kaiju or, you know, Godzilla related. They're everywhere. And a standard 6-inch movie monster series now in Japan is listed probably around like 2,500 yen for like the larger ones, which is about like, you know, so ranging anywhere from like 15, 20 bucks, give or take.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe that could be considered a little bit pricier for a kid's toy, but that's the whole idea, is that they're made for kids. Are they vital? Absolutely. The fact that, you know, I have, you know, the Dream 5 set at almost 42 years old, and it still gets me freaking excited. Like, yes. So tell me how Bandai is not vital.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is vital. And piggybacking on the Bandai creation, yes, I admit I used to shit all over that line way back when, you know, 10 years ago, when, you know, but like Eric said, that if I saw those figures when I was collecting Treadmasters, I would have been like, the hell with Treadmasters. These Bandai creations are on point, you know. But again, think about the accessibility. You know, Bandai creations here in the United States. Like, when did we ever see Godzilla toys for sale in the United States? And again, the accessibility. The price point was what? Maybe 10, 15 bucks for Bandai creation?
Yeah.
So again, tell us how Bandai is not vital. Dare somebody.
Yep.
Well, Nathaniel, as per always, bro, thank you for being part of tonight. Sorry that you have to go. I guess you don't love us enough, but that's fine. He's getting his poster, and that's all he got what he needed out of us. So he's love and appreciate you too, bro. Have a good night.
Have a good one, Nathaniel.
And live rules. Jesus Christ, everybody take a shot. Jordan. So to reiterate the question, we're talking about the vitality. You know what the question is. Go.
Did you just have a stroke? What happened? Are you okay?
I was trying to think of what word to say.
Blip, blip, blip. That's all, folks.
I don't word right.
Hey, Junior.
I don't ever want to hear you talk smack to Jordan about they is good or whatever he said the last show.
It was R. It's something R good. I think it was instead of is. Something R good.
Jordan.
Well, what are your opinion, Jordan? What are your opinion?
Well, first off, they just got your ass, bro. But it's collecting Bandai. It's extremely vital. It's part of the journey of being a Godzilla fan or just overall a Toku fan. My little cousin who's in like 2nd or 3rd grade, everybody in my family calls him by one name, and that's Baby Godzilla, because to me, I'm his Godzilla, and his introduction to Godzilla was through one day coming to my room and seeing the plethora of figures displayed in my collection. And, there would be a few Bandais I'd buy for him here and there between, if not just Godzilla, but of Ultraman properties. My niece, who you guys know, I sent you guys a bunch of videos and pics of, she would kill to get into my room just to have her hands filled with Godzilla figures, specifically Bandai. Even for me growing up, like, I remember there's this one time where me and my family went to the mall and we're eating ice cream across from the other side of the mall. I break my freaking neck because there is a Godzilla figure. I would say like it was about the size of a full-grown adult displayed up against the wall. And I'm like, look at that Godzilla. My mom, my dad, they look there, go, oh no. You know what that means, right? We gotta go inside the damn store with these damn kids. So my dad goes in there. He has the Godzilla above his head to display how big it is. And we go in there. The entire wall was stacked with Bandai figures, ranging from Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman. So, like, for me, just knowing, the little knowledge to Godzilla that I had made me want to get into the plethora of other monsters that I came across at that store. Unfortunately, the store closed down like 20 years ago. But, yeah, that was a vital part of my childhood and very vital to me wanting to get into more of tokusatsu, and especially, between Godzilla, like I said, Ultraman, Gamera, even Super Sentai.
Yeah, it was Bandai stuff, especially on Club Tokyo, because I used to religiously go to that site. Thank God he revamped and rebrought that, or he brought it back to life. He brought it. It was gone for a while, but that was my library of knowledge of figuring out what does and doesn't exist. And that's how I learned about things I'd never heard of before. I was like, what is this weird penguin-looking drill-nosed monster with little antennas on its head? I don't know what that is.
Dude,
other
I
Godzilla
saw
monsters
that at the store, the original Heisei Mogira, and I thought that was a Mecha Megalon. I'm like, whoa, they got a Mecha Megalon. Fast forward, then now finding out who Mogira was, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there. Sorry, Samson.
Oh, I was actually talking about the Showa Mogira. I was like, whoa, what is this weird looking thing? Rich, I know you recently you now have a few of those because you had some antenna issues and you also wanted it with a tag.
Yeah. All right, I'll be short because I could be long-winded.
You are short.
Yeah, you're right. You got me there. Good one. I mean, where credit's due. All right. So the original Mogira that I had, Mogira, damaged it in a move, and antenna broke. Had to fix it. Broke the other antenna, so both of them were broke. No, and I'm not gonna lie, I got pissed off and I fucking threw it. Excuse my French. I'm not the person. I threw it at the wall. I was so mad, and I've been pissed off about it for ever since. That was in 2016. So it was late 2023 that I decided to hunt another one down. Like, I needed to correct my mistake. I needed one in mint condition or near mint condition. So I found one, and then bought that one. Came great. Was packaged nicely. And after I had posted on my Instagram, somebody had, I got to get one of those eventually, blah, blah, blah. And I was still looking on Yahoo Japan for other Bandai figures, and I found another one. Tagged, antennas attached. And I'm like, well, so I sent the link to the other collector that said that they wanted one. Actually, I sent it to two people. Neither one of them jumped on it. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm buying it. So now I have two of them with tags and antenna.
Dang.
Anybody interested?
I'm not selling.
I'm right on the corner, Rich. I'm right on the corner.
I know you are. I'll sell you a picture of it.
Oh, that's worth something.
Yeah.
Picture? A fresh vinyl photo? Holy crap!
I'll set it up. I'll take it. Actually, wait. Hold on a minute. Go to the next question.
We covered everybody now. So we're going back into the history. So, as we thought, Godzilla was dead since the death of Godzilla happened in 1995. So what else were we supposed to get? Well, here we go. Well, in 1997, we were introduced to something new with the Godzilla Island Monster series, which were all 6-inch style figures that coincided with a miniseries called Godzilla Island. The series used figures that were made by Bandai to depict fun, short story kaiju stories. So these were all, these were, if I remember correctly, these were like 3-minute, they were all only a couple of minutes long. And the series ran for only a year. And it was creative, different stuff we hadn't seen before. And Bandai, like this company, they reached out to Bandai to say, hey, could you produce these for us? And they did. They started making these for the show, but eventually they started making them for fans to own. Like I think there was 12 in the initial run. I couldn't find a collective photo of the original 12, but it was 12, and each of them had a tag that said G01, 02, 3, 4, 5, and it covered several different figures. You had 90s Godzilla, I believe, was number 1. King Caesar, you can see him down in here. Anguirus, Space Godzilla, Destroyer. There were 12 original ones, as well as unique stuff we had never seen before. That Mecha King Ghidorah, the Ghidorah that we still Bandai, listen up. You can make the profits. The fans are loving this unique hidden gems out there. They've done bagging and Super Godzilla now. So what are you waiting for? Give us a Mecha King Ghidorah. But they so they came out with the 6-inch line. This was the first time that we had a specifically 6-inch figure line, and they were all tagged. And it coincided with the miniseries that happened from 97 to 98 with, if I did my research correctly, 200 and something episodes, because there were only a few minutes a piece. So yes. Well, after that, then in 1998, we got a new line called the Toho Kaiju series, which were also 6-inch style figures. But for this line, for the first time ever, we were introduced to a theater exclusive figure, which was a translucent vinyl Rainbow Mothra to coincide with Rebirth of Mothra 3. And this would pave the way for theater exclusive figures from then on out. This line was pretty much the exact same as the previous one. They were just more reissues of previously released ones, with the exception of a few newer ones like the Rainbow Mothra here and a couple of other sculpts of different kaiju, but they were pretty much just repaints of previous sculpts like Destroya and Heisei Godzilla and Anguirus and whatnot. But this it paved the way for translucent vinyl figures and theater exclusives, which we've seen a lot of throughout history now from tier 98 and forward. What's the next thing? Oh, we're not there yet. So that covers the introduction of the 6-inch figure line from Bandai.
Hey, I got a pop quiz for you, Sam. Let's see if you know.
Oh crap!
Assuming I have the right information.
You probably do.
What was the first Bandai theater exclusive?
Burning Godzilla. Translucent vinyl Burning Godzilla.
Can you be a little bit more specific with your answer? 5.
It was
4.
It was I don't remember the name of the guy. It was an honorary, like it honored a specific person. Is it that one? Oh my. Okay, no, I guess I don't have the answer. Thanks for coming on and making me look like an idiot. I should have never.
Look like an idiot.
Kawakita. The Kawakita Appreciation Bandai? No. Okay. Then
This
I
came
guess
out 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's later on.
The Theater Meltdown. The Theater Meltdown from Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Right. Theater Meltdown.
The red one.
Where it was like, yeah. I was about to say red and black and okay.
No, red and black is the Forever series. That's the Melting Godzilla. The Theater Meltdown is the all orange one.
Okay, well, I guess I didn't do my homework hard enough. I guess I get a D instead.
You remember the figure that I rebought for you for your memorial box?
I have it.
Oh fuck.
Just, but it was okay. Thank you, Rich, for. I guess I didn't know the answer, but yeah. Okay, so I thought it was the Rainbow Mothra, but wow, my information was just disproven.
Like
okay, well, I don't need to be doing this anymore.
Camera 96 was, I think, the next theater. All right, continue your show. I'm shutting up.
Well, no. Now that you're on a roll, go ahead. I mean, the 6-inch line and how.
Which one's John Cena?
Yeah, I guess the fatter one would be me.
Oh my god!
I didn't say.
Did you? Were you familiar with the fact that like the figure line was released specifically to coincide with that miniseries, and that's like the only reason that we got that. Like Bandai or the company, they hired Bandai to make these things for them, and then eventually kids were like, "Oh my god, we want that!" So they're like, "Okay, let's release a line for everybody."
That's cool.
That's great, Sammy.
I can feel the love.
Outstanding job.
Well, if nobody wants to actually say anything in regards to all that, so I mean, we're going to continue to talk about 6-inch stuff with the other lines. I'll go ahead and ask question number 3 with my next slide, and this is going to be the fun one for each of y'all. All right. So y'all each have your little slides that I created, but for each of you, the Desert Island 5. I asked you guys to pick 5 of any tokusatsu property. If there were only 5 and you were stuck on a desert island, they were the ones that had to be with you. What would they be? Rich, I'll let you can think about it while these boys are talking about theirs. But I have little slideshows for every single person here, and they y'all are going to talk about your choices and why you chose those. Who hasn't gone first? Adrian, you haven't gone first. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up.
How did I know?
I'll go ahead and throw yours up first, and I will pause. I'll take control. Okay. You don't have to do anything. I got it.
Okay.
Boom. Number 1.
So, of course, the first one I picked was the original Godzilla Jr. I do have the reissue of this, and y'all know how much I love Godzilla Jr. This is my favorite Godzilla offspring. But I do want to find. I don't own this one, but I do want to find this one day. Cause I do like the unique underbelly. The header card actually looks pretty awesome, which I'm kind of like Samson. I kind of hide away my header cards, but it does look awesome. It would be nice to have in my collection.
Eric didn't like that.
No, he did not.
So you're saying you don't actually have this one, but if you could,
this one I don't.
You definitely like to have it.
Yes.
All right. Oh God, I would be last week's one. Number four. Well,
I know this is a more recent release, but the dancing Godzilla, because this is so unique, it's so awesome. Godzilla Invasion of the Astral Monsters is one of the first Godzilla films I saw as a kid. So being able to have this in figure form was just icing on the cake. And I know we got one for Super 7 too, but y'all know I like things a little bit bigger anyways. So I had to add this one on my list because I absolutely love this Godzilla.
Yeah.
No, I have this one and I love it as well. I'm really digging the fact that they're diving into these dynamic, unique situation poses and stuff like that. Let's see more. Let's see a tail slide. Let's see the flying Hedra Godzilla.
Yeah. Holding her door. Number 3.
Very nice.
Number 3, a classic. This is one of the grills that I've seen it a few times. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but one day I do want to pull the trigger and have this big boy in my collection. I saw the burning one at G-Fest last year. I think Jay from
Yes.
Toku Toy Town, he had it, and I almost bought it then, but I didn't want to take that back on the plane with me. I know how big that thing is.
Oh crap! Right.
But if I do ever get the option to get it, and I actually not spending money anywhere else, I'm definitely gonna pick this up because this is again one of the classic Bandai figures, and I really do love the sculpt of this Godzilla of the '94.
Isn't there an issue with this and the burning one where there's something about like the eyes missing sometimes for these things?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they were stickers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to find them with, the stickers either still attached or in good condition.
Dang. That's why didn't they just paint it? Jesus. Oh well.
No question.
Hey.
And of course, the one that Eric has on his desk, the 14-inch 1991 Godzilla. And again, same thing. This is one of the classics, one of the ones I've always wanted to get. I had the 6-inch one for a little bit. I got rid of it because I do want to find the 14-incher because, again, I love my figures a little bit bigger, and that thing's gorgeous. I just haven't had the opportunity. I just haven't found it yet. But whenever I do, I am going to pull the trigger on this guy also because this is awesome. This figure's awesome as well.
Yeah, you need to add some more Bandai to that collection, dude.
For real.
I do. I also need to add another shelf to add Bandai to my collection. So,
dude, that room behind you is huge. Are you kidding me? You got room.
Yeah.
Number one.
And of course, again, another classic, the 1964 Godzilla. Even though it doesn't like 1964 at all, but whatever. Of course, I know Mothra vs. Godzilla is my favorite Showa film, and I don't know. Like I said, there's something about the charm on this one. Maybe this is a nostalgic factor, and maybe for me, but I love this figure also, and I do want to add this figure to my collection one day as well.
I got to ask the question: why was it this one above the bronze?
For me, I like a little bit more closer to screen accurate for me. So Fubi's like the only thing I kind of take exception with on that. So I like that this is closer to the actual color scheme for Godzilla.
I can't argue with you on that. I love my screen accurate stuff too. So, but just to be able to say that you own something really cool, bronze would be a way to go for sure. Well, cool. Nice top 5. So yeah, you'll be sleeping cozy on that island with that big old Godzilla right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's next? Who are we gonna choose? Joe, let's go with you.
All right.
Ooh.
So in no necessarily like particular order, the Orochi, I just think that it's huge, it's beautiful. I love the Orochi design in the movie. I think he's really cool. I remember for a long time this was kind of back in the day it was kind of a grail for me. They were around $150, $200. You have to keep in mind 20 years ago that was a lot of money for a figure, where now if something's $200, I'm like, oh, that's cheap, give me 3. So yeah, the Orochi was one of the ones that I was on the hunt for a long time, so that's why.
Awesome. It is magnificent. I remember seeing it at G-Fest in the past and being like, what is that thing? And like, it's an 8-headed Ghidorah. What?
Yeah, for real.
It stands out on everybody's shelves at dealers' rooms. It was always at the top, and nobody ever bought it because it was too expensive, but it was always on display.
Yep.
At some dealer's table. Somebody always had it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a very nice centerpiece to a lot of collections because the Orochi is so big. But all right, I'm sorry. I'll not be long-winded because I know we have a lot to get to. Grand King Ghidorah, for the sole fact it is my favorite Ghidra. So I love the design and I love the size of it. I am a size queen, if you will. So yeah, I love it.
That is a great figure. I've seen it in person. It's amazing.
It's pretty. Now that I've seen the movie, finally, it is. I have a greater appreciation for this thing. I mean, it is massive. Will I be able to get one? I don't think I will. It's going to be too stupid expensive now, but it is cool. It's very, very, very cool. Comes in a box, right?
Yes.
Whoa! I clicked fast forward or rewind instead of pause. My bad. Okay, back to where we were supposed to be.
So number 3 is Death Ghidorah, one of my all-time, honestly, probably my all-time favorite Ghidorah. There's something about a 4-legged Ghidorah I'm absolutely in love with. Him and Kaiser Ghidorah are right there with me. And red's my favorite color, so when I saw a red 4-legged Ghidorah when I was a kid, not knowing any of the context, I was just in love with it. So this is one of my all-time favorites. I would love for them to redo it with a little bit better detail and paint application, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe movie monster series, but we know where their loyalty to painting tails is these days.
Yeah. So this one is kind of like what we talked about earlier with Bandai being vital to the popularity of Toku. I had seen this, had no idea what it was, but I was like, holy cow, this is an awesome looking monster kaiju. And I wanted it, but it was very, very expensive. So I didn't get it for several years. And was told, I don't remember by who, I'm sure it was probably Diane of Clawmark, because her and Tom were always my kind of go-to of what it was and how to watch the show or the movie that it was a part of. Its name is Killersaurus, and it's from Ultraman, and I just think he is just badass and beautiful, and I love it. So I would love to see him make a return.
I agree. I actually saw this in someone's collection, and I was like, I don't know what that thing is, but that's cool. I want to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of a film, right? Not an episode.
Yep. Correct.
It's a film.
Yep. It's from a film.
Good choice. Branching out.
And last but not least is probably my favorite Bandai of all time, the super premium Final Meltdown Godzilla. I'm in love with it. This one and its twin, the one that Adrian had, they're awesome. They're gigantic. Showstoppers, eye catchers, all the things, and I love it. So it's a must-have, in my opinion, if you're a Bandai collector.
You got them stickers?
What?
I said you still got them stickers?
No, that's a negative.
Wow. Fake fan.
Yeah, the stickers are long gone. So unfortunately.
What a pity.
Mm-hmm.
What a pity.
Well, I actually, now that I remember correctly, that I probably should have let Eric go first, because I know what y'all's answers were. So let's go ahead with Eric's, since
Okay.
Ooh,
So this
okay.
is the premium Bandai Degarla. I actually have this one in my possession. This one came out of nowhere, blew my mind when I got it. Way bigger than any other premium Bandai that has come out thus far. This literally could be an X Plus with the amount of detail and the paint and all the attention that they put into this figure is just absolutely incredible. They give you alternating wings when he has his big shoulder cannons. Then they actually will give you an extra little guy of Gorgo or Gorga, or however you pronounce his name.
I think it's Gorgo. think it's Gorgo.
In the
Gorgo,
English, it's Gorgo, but I think it's actually something else. Just a tremendous figure, and I actually do dig this kaiju design. So,
yeah, I've seen photos and stuff. This thing it's X plus quality.
Hey, and like Mr. Joe Mama, I too have picked the Grand King Ghidorah. It is my second favorite King Ghidorah design. I absolutely love it. I do eventually want to rebuy and actually get the box because this was just loose, but this has a presence on any shelf, honestly, and it's just so well done and it's so big. It's great. I have some of the Mothras from the series, and I know a lot of hate for the Rebirth of Mothra series, but I mean, the kaiju designs and the kaiju that were in there are spectacular. So I dig it. So
Absolutely.
It's a fun series. I enjoyed watching it recently. For Mothra month of March last month.
Yeah.
Even with the quality being not so great.
We do what we can. Oh,
Ooh.
this is
boy.
probably my number one want to get for Bandai. I've been eyeing this thing for several years and just never pulled the trigger. And it's not like I haven't had the money. It's just I don't know why. I don't know what has stopped me from pulling that trigger. Maybe because I don't want to spend the kind of money people are selling this for at Bandai.
Yep.
Honestly. But it is spectacular. And I think this is one of the most sought after, I'd say, Bandai figures out there is the glitter. So yeah, I don't have this, but hopefully in the future I will.
Best of luck to you, pal.
Yeah, I'll try. Hey, and just like Joe, I love Orochi. It's such a good movie. It is in my probably top 3 of the Toho non-Godzilla movies. Honestly, it's just a lot of fun. You can tell it's a Heisei movie. This obviously design is just incredible, and it's Big Chungus like to a T. Like this thing is huge. It's got length. It's got width. I mean, and the sculpt is great. And it takes up a lot of space for sure. I think Samson, you were saying it's always on the top shelf, and you can always see it, from afar because it's so big and it's always on the top shelf. So it always kind of catches your eye. And I was glad to get this one. And again, this one I want to kind of re-get because I want to get the box. I'm a stickler for boxes and tags and all that stuff. And I really, I collect all my boxes. I have all my boxes. I don't get rid of my boxes. That's another part of collecting for me. So hopefully soon.
Oh, so you're a hoarder. Okay, I get it.
I make forts. I make forts in the basement.
Oh,
Nice. And yes, I do not have this one. This is another one that I want to look for. I had seen this at my very first G-Fest. And I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, that's the biggest Godzilla I've ever seen. And because I never knew they made him that big. And honestly, it was for the video game tournament that whoever took first place got this big Godzilla. And I saw them carrying it around. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted to follow that person wherever they went because it can't. I was like, dude, I was like, where are you going? Kind of thing. So maybe one day I'll get this guy. And this is another one that's kind of going up in price and rarity, honestly. But this particular one I want the meltdown version of him. I just think it's so cool. The colors just pop. It's so vibrant, and I just love it. So it's another one that just it's on the hunt for me. So it's thrill of the hunt, man. It's a thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
So
would the lack of stickers be a deal breaker?
Probably, honestly. I'm a stickler for that kind of thing. So I would want box and I would want stickers. So it's yeah, it'll probably take me a long time, but yeah, I want everything included.
Clock's ticking.
I know. I know. So.
Well, Jordan, we got you up next. And Rich, I hope you are ready soon after.
Oh.
Stupid.
So I am a proud owner of this. Now there is a very once in a lifetime story behind this.
Shit.
I was in high school, senior high school, and there was this clothing store downtown that was closing. And I was, listen, if I wasn't one of their number one customers in that entire freaking store, then I probably would have gotten that store shutting down a long time ago if they did not live up. So I was very familiar with the owner. Believe it or not, he was born and raised in Japan. He was a Japanese individual, and unfortunately, he had to close down the store because his mom wasn't doing too good, and he had to move back overseas, back to Japan. So this is, of course, around 2014, and I walked in with a Godzilla shirt. So he goes, "Oh, you big Godzilla fan?" I'm like, "Listen, you don't understand." And fast forward through that, he basically goes, "Come back tomorrow. Before I go, I'll bring you something." Okay. Luckily, I lived right around the corner from there, so I would go over, and he presented me with this figure. He goes, "I don't know the value of this figure, but here you go. It goes to a better home." And I'm
He
like,
just gave it to you.
Yeah. So I'm like, let me do my research on this, because I have no knowledge of this whatsoever. And lo and behold, once I was digging up some research and found the value of this and what it meant, I was like, wow. Also, screw you, Joe, and screw you, Eric. Don't be mad that I have this and you guys don't.
I'm happy for you.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I'm happy for you, Jordan, but streamline this shit. My ass is getting numb.
Well, start rubbing your ass cheeks. So yeah, this is how this beloved figure came upon my collection.
Tagged or not?
It was not tagged.
Ooh,
but I mean, you also know I'm also one to rip off the tags.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Samson, for the love of God, don't ask him questions and make this longer.
Don't worry, I'm pressing.
Nice. That's a beautiful one.
This is my first theater exclusive.
Hang on, I gotta time you.
Oh my goodness. Hop off. Hop off. 2 shows in a row, this guy's been up my ass, everybody.
Hey, we already ripped into me in the beginning. We gotta give you everybody a turn.
I didn't even say nothing. Anyways, my grandmother actually gifted this to me for Christmas a few years ago. And Joseph, you could choke on a fat one. Eric,
I don't know what's going on.
You could choke on a fat one. Rich, you see how they treat me?
It's horrible. You know what? It just boils down to team building.
There you go. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, we got to build a pyramid. Okay.
Yes. The theater exclusive, 2002. Here you go, G.
That is pretty gnarly.
This is my first Bandai. I unfortunately gave it away to somebody that should not be mentioned.
Uh-oh.
But last G-Fest, I would end up getting it once again.
First, second Bandai.
what makes this a lot better is that both sides are painted.
Yeah, I was about to ask you because there are two different variants of that thing. One with and without paint on the bottom of the wings, which I found out while doing this research over time.
And I got it for a good ass price. So I didn't know that both sides that there was a variant that had both of the wings painted on both sides, on top and bottom. So when I came across this last year at G-Fest, I was extremely happy.
Well, good on you. This is different.
Ooh.
This beloved SOB. Something that Joe cannot relate to. Hence the reason why he's covering his face, because he's probably in despair.
Yeah, that's why.
Probably because he's upset that he does not have this in his collection.
That's very cool, Jordan.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a story? Can you tell us what the weather was like the day?
No, I've already pressed play.
Ooh, nice one. Nice one.
Ooh.
Yes.
This is my baby. Nobody is allowed to touch this other than myself.
That's weird.
That is a little weird, but okay.
Hyper hog.
Nobody puts Goji in the corner.
all seriousness, Jordan, that was actually a really good list. The ice Kyu Godzilla I thought was is beautiful. It's one of my favorite theater exclusives.
Yeah, I love it.
Agreed.
Well, right on. Well, since we are at a peak moment in our show with the amount of viewers and whatnot, Eric, I believe you have something that you'd like to say.
I do.
We were going to do this before Rich just tells us his, but yeah.
Okay.
While Rich is talking about his, we have this happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So just going to do a little giveaway tonight for everybody. Because we're talking about Bandai and we love Bandai and what a staple it is to collecting. We're going to be giving away a couple Bandais and couple other extras. Right now we have the Dancing Goji, the new one that just came out. It is in bag. It is unopened, so it is vinyl fresh. Then we have the Anguirus from Singular Point. I think it's one of the better designs from that particular anime. So I know they did him dirty in that anime, but I actually did like him in those couple episodes that they had him in. And then we have a couple badges, the Kiryu badge and then the G-Force badge from the Ichiban Kuji lottery. And then we also have like poster cards. There's 3 different packs that come randomly of different postcards from different movies. I think the one I'm showing is Biollante, I think 84, I think Destroya, and I think Garuda, I think. And they got stickers in there too and stuff. So yeah, we're going to do a little giveaway. And what I want you to type in the chat, hashtag Bandai Love. Hashtag Bandai Love. And we'll go through the rest of our slides and give you guys a chance to enter in the giveaway. It is completely free. You don't pay for anything. It's just kind of a thank you from us to you for watching the channel and showing support for us. So if you want to be involved in the giveaway, please type in hashtag Bandai Love. And towards the end, we will do the giveaway. So,
and we're going to be doing giveaways more often, aren't we, Eric?
Absolutely. We're going to be turning into more of a, like you said, more often giveaway. It's gonna wide variety of different things. It might pertain to the shows that we're doing, or just something else that we're like, hey, we just want to do it, or we might even do it on our weekly shows. We're just randomly going to be like, hey, we feel like we want to do a giveaway. So please always keep watching the content and tune in, because you just never know when we're going to do one. So
subscribe.
Yeah, that as well.
So
well, cool. Well, I hope with all that, Rich, what do you have for us? Well, obviously
Okay.
I didn't know you were coming in, so I didn't make you don't have a slideshow.
No. It's good. So I had to walk away and go look at my stuff because I'm like, which ones would I grab? So what I wrote down, I was almost contemplating on changing one of them out for something else that was mentioned, but going backwards, I was going to put the Forever Series Glitter Godzilla on there, but I didn't in favor of the Hyper Hobby GMK Godzilla that you just showed. So I love that figure. That seeing it in person with the glitter and because it's injected into the vinyl, phenomenal. Next up would be the Gamma 96 theater exclusive. That I got that when I was a kid, probably 96 when it came out, and I love that figure. It's a great theater exclusive paint scheme on that, so that's a must-have. The Bandai 8-inch King Kong. That figure was that figure. Let me tell you, I think that was the first figure I bought when I discovered a little website called eBay. I was on deployment overseas when I was in the military. This is 2004 when I discovered eBay, and that was the first figure I bought. And I remember sitting there looking at like this, and like so that's a whole other story. But King Kong. Next up would be the 8-inch scale Destroyer Aggregate Sage. That's a must-have. That figure I feel like was ahead of its time in some aspects as far as the sculpt and detail goes. So that's a must-have. And then last but not least is my first one, the Bandai Batra Larva. So, yeah.
Nice choices. And you have every single one of these.
Yes. Was that how that was supposed to work?
Well, you don't have to. No.
Okay.
But I was just curious because I know you said you were selling stuff off, so I was curious if you actually.
No, I actually bought most of that crap back that I sold. Believe it or not, most of it.
Okay, all right.
Well, you can do that for selling regrets episode.
Well, I didn't make a slideshow for mine because I also do own every single one of mine. When you asked what was the first earlier, I pointed out and said I had the 6-inch King Caesar. That was the first one I ever got. Still the same one that I got when I was a kid from '98. After that, this was a highly sought after one for me because I loved Destroy All Monsters growing up. And I know it's very simplistic, but the original Gorosaurus, I know it's just a simple dinosaur, but this was high up on my list. I was after him for years. When I got him off eBay, finally, it was a dream come true.
Yeah.
Next up is possibly my favorite Showa sculpt. It's Godzilla 74. They just nailed it with this guy. And until X Plus just recently came out with their 25, he hasn't really been captured as accurate as this one. This little simple 6-inch figure, it just looks the best, in my opinion. And to coincide with him, a unique one here, it was the Soul of Shogoken Mechagodzilla. The Mechagodzilla with the knee rockets that come out, the chest opens up, you press the back of his neck and his head spins around. I mean, it's just a fun little interpretation of Mechagodzilla. And you can point him like this, his tail goes down, pop another head on, and he's flying version. So that was that. And number 5 is my favorite Mothra design of all time. It is the Tokyo SOS Mothra. I love this. I used to have the translucent one with the red translucent vinyl, but I gifted that to my best friend's kid because I was supposed to be getting a big box day in the mail, and it was in it. Oh, and behold, the only box day that's ever been lost in the mail. I had 7 or 8 figures, Bandai figures I bought from somebody for $120, and that was in the box. Gone. It got to Atlanta, then never again. Just
not fresh.
No, it was not. I was like, I almost drove there to go get it and try to find it.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to point something out. In the chat, everyone's talking about somebody named Ryan misspelled Bandai. So go back in and do Bandai Love, hashtag Bandai Love, and spell it correctly. Otherwise, the catcher won't read your answer and you won't be.
That is true. I see. You spelled it Bandy without an A. Bandy.
And Ryan, you just said Band-Aid Love. So nope, you're going to want to do hashtag Bandai Love.
All right.
All you need is Bandai love. Da, 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 da. Well, awesome. Y'all had some really awesome choices. Did I say awesome enough yet? It was awesome.
Awesome.
Y'all are gonna sleep cozy with all them radical vinyl figures next to you. Keep the animals away from you at night. Okay, well, back to the history. So we went through 2 of the 3 6-inch figure lines. Well, now here we go. The more memorable and the most well-known, the 2001, we finally got the movie Monster series, which we're all too familiar with right now. It's one of the biggest figure lines currently with all the releases that we've gotten. But yeah, there were all reissues of previous toy lines except the newly added Gamera 1999 figure.
Gamera.
He was the new inclusion into the Bandai movie Monster series with all the other Godzilla goodies. But yes, the movie Monster series took over as Bandai's main line of Godzilla figures, and they covered all of the Millennium films with both 6-inch and 8-inch scale figures, depending on the film. It depended, but yeah, so we got Godzilla 2000 with Godzilla and Orga. I just put this pack up because it has all of them in one, the Mega Gearus pack, the GMK 8-inch scale figures, which are now slowly becoming 6-inch. And one of Jordan's favorites is up in here. We got Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS, and of course, Final Wars, where it was supposed to end. And I forgot to get the snapshot of the 6-inch figures of Rodan, Anguirus, and the actual Godzilla itself. After Final Wars, though, we got what was possibly one of the most exciting releases, and this is just my personal opinion, but y'all may agree. The 50th anniversary memorial box set.
Legendary.
This thing, it donned brand new sculpts of different Godzilla figures or different Godzilla models instead of just having reissues of previous releases. Because the 40th anniversary memorial box, it was just all repaints of previous sculpted figures. But this one, we got all new Godzillas, as well as original Godzillas. But I'm not going to go through the whole list. If you know, you know. But 20 figures in one box set. It was a sought after. And thanks to Grandpa, one Holy Christmas, this is in my possession, actually. Well, most of them. I don't have all of it, but Rich actually he did a very funny story for a quick second. He got me back the Burning Godzilla, which I regrettably sold. He gifted that to me a long time ago with the little card, because they all have all 28 of the original Godzilla films from 54 to 2004 with their cards. And after that, we would get the short-lived figure line known as Toys Dream Project. They were all reissues of previous figures, but uniquely painted and packed as sets or with some fun extras. I have this one. This is awesome, and I think this is possibly one of my favorite and the most accurate interpretation of this Kiryu, because his eyeball was not, or he didn't use his drill hand until after his eyeball got blown out. So every figure that has both eyes intact and the drill arm, it's technically not correct. It's a little continuity error that I've always focused on with my OCD ass. And of course, we have this set. This was my first purchase at my first G-Fest. I got it for $50, and I think that was not too bad. In 2011, I think that was not too bad.
Yeah. This
Icy Blue set, which now is even more accurate than it was back then. Yeah. But this was a lot of fun, and it actually corrected the mistake the 50th anniversary memorial box did with all the 55 Godzilla's dorsal plates being glued in upside down. Every single one in the memorial box set was done wrong. So everybody out there, if you have the original 55 Godzilla, it is not correct. And lastly, we have this unique looking Burning Godzilla with a little Lego-ish bobblehead. And unless somebody can correct me, I think this is all Toys Dream Project put out. Is it not? Unless we've gotten some more modern releases in recent time.
I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Let's see. And where am I? And nope. Okay. So I don't have the slide for it. But unfortunately, after this, there was only a few more figure releases from 2006 and into 2008. And then Bandai just stopped. They just stopped producing figures in the Godzilla line. We got a 6-inch Jaguar and Hedra, and then we got the DVD set. It was 4 figures: Godzilla 54, 84, Space Godzilla, and Mecha Godzilla 75. Or is that which one it was? There was 4, and it was called a DVD
I remember that set. Yeah,
they all had a very dark blackish paint scheme. No, Rich, I can see you shaking your finger. I was looking at you specifically because I know you would say
the DVD sets were Godzilla 54, Godzilla 84, Space Godzilla, and Gigan. The Black Mecha Godzilla was part of a Hyper Hobby set that came with the red and white Jet Jaguars,
which was part of the Godzilla Island series. That was based off of
loosely
based off of that.
Yep. Yes.
To kind of mimic what that looked like. But they stopped. We didn't see Bandai after that, and they just decided not to make them anymore, which I was disappointed in at the time because I was collecting Bandai heavily. There was no X Plus yet. So for us not to see anything, also we didn't have any Godzilla films because Final Wars yet again was supposed to be the end of Godzilla. That was 95. That was the first time they killed him off. 2004. All right, we're done again. But that actually goes into our next question. What if Bandai did actually die off in 2008? What if they did not come back ever again? Would that be a huge loss and an impact, or would we? Do you think we ever would have just gotten over it?
Well, if you think about this, Bandai took a back seat. You had literally within the next couple of years the birth of the SH Monster Arts line, X Plus's main 2 lines, 25 and 30 centimeter lines. You saw a continuation clearly of Marmot's figures, Monster Heaven line. Probably missing some other stuff, so it gave time for those other lines and brands to shine, more or less, in the absence of Bandai. So collectors started spending money elsewhere.
That's a good way of looking at it. I never really thought about it that way. I was just like disappointed to see it. But no, you make a very valid point because X Plus was born in basically 2009, 2010 with the 30 and 25 centimeter line. So we started seeing those. I didn't really collect SH Monster Arts, so I can't vouch for that. But that is true. Adrian, how do you feel? What if we just never got it back?
I'm the same thing Rich said, honestly. My money would have went somewhere else, to be 100% honest. Just like pretty recently when NECA stopped doing Godzilla stuff, look at how it came right behind them. Our money just would have went elsewhere, honestly. So I wouldn't have been heartbroken about Bandai stopping at 2008.
Okay. All right. Eric.
I probably would have been able to collect them all, for God's sakes, if they would have stopped for once. Jesus. But it's kind of a bad thing and a good thing. Like, obviously it gave birth to all these other lines, these other avenues that we've gotten thus far. Maybe we would have never gotten X Plus, and the super screen accurate stuff, because Bandai would have been king. Like, they would have done whatever they could to put them under, to bury them, honestly, because they knew they were king, and maybe they took the break because they knew they were king. They're like, yeah, no one's even going to compete with us. We've been doing this for so long and just selling these toys like hotcakes. Like, they probably were just sitting on cloud 9, honestly. And there was like, yeah, whatever, then all of a sudden these other companies come out and they're like, oh shit, we got to start this stuff back up again because everybody's spending money elsewhere. So it's kind of it's a love-hate. Like, it's a good thing, but a bad thing at the same time, I think. And I'm not going to go too much on what Bandai means to us, because obviously I've done it enough, but yeah, it's kind of hit and miss, I guess.
Valid. Joe? You're muted. Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah, I know. I was doing something.
Really?
I I don't have much more to add. That I agree with kind of like what Rich, Adrian, and Eric said. I think it would have been sad because they are a little bit cheaper and easier to obtain for collectors, and to add that notoriety or exposure to people. But I think it would have moved on. I think collectors would have something else would have jumped to fill that void. So I'm glad they didn't die and they didn't end it completely, but we would have been fine.
Lastly, Mr. Adorno.
I think it would have been a huge loss. It's like I said earlier, it's part of being a Godzilla fan, or just a Toku fan overall in general. And I mean, Oscar could be wrong, but he said it here. Like, was that the year where Bandai was really focusing on more of like the Ultra series stuff? And then being an Ultraman fan, I love what Bandai has been doing for Ultraman, even during that time frame where they did kind of branch out to other properties and not really focus on Godzilla. So yeah, I definitely feel like it would have been a big loss. It would be like kind of like with Trendmasters, it was definitely a core memory and a very big thing in our community. And for it, to just vanish, if that would have been the case, would have been dreadful.
Well, I never thought about the aspect that y'all came up with about it gave other companies the opportunity to shine. That didn't even really occur to me, but that's very, very valid. Because X Plus came to fruition. SH Monster Arts, as Rich said. Somebody said Marmot as well. Rich, I think that was actually also you. Marmot. Yeah, it gave them time to shine, and I guess it did kind of launch the X Plus career. If we think about it, Bandai stepping back away from Godzilla, X Plus now produced these highly accurate, detailed figures that we all know and love. So taking a back seat was a good and bad thing, as Eric said. It was good and bad. But all right, we are heading into the end of our history here. And y'all are probably going to tell me that I've left out some things because we've been getting a lot in the past few years for me to try to keep up with. We have been getting a lot, and I now because of the comment section alone made me realize I left out a different line. But yes, so we got nothing after 2008, but luckily because of the resurgence of Godzilla in 2014, Bandai came back and has ever since continued to release figures every year to coincide with the Legendary Pictures movies, King of the Monsters, or the original 2014 King of the Monsters versus Kong, and then the most recent one, X Kong. And then we also have Shin Godzilla. He was in the mix in the middle of that after 2014. I chose this picture because it just has all three, even though this is a very specific set. And of course, we have the animated TV series or animated movies and the animated TV series. I just chose these photos because they were the only one that had a couple in the mix. And of course, the Oscar-winning film Godzilla -1. And other than that, we also I don't have a slide for every single freaking monster because that would take way too long. Bandai has come back to fruition in a big way lately with the movie monster series. We've been seeing all sorts of sculpts of figures we've never seen before, different monsters that have never happened before in both Godzilla, Gamera, and Ultraman. We've seen it all, and I think it's revamped the movie monster series and made it more important amongst collectors because that's all I'm seeing on YouTube these days. I just see review after review after review of Bandai movie monster series because they're big, they're hot. They're what's
Bandai took your crown back, dude.
Yeah.
They certainly did. So I mean, I guess like Eric just said, did the resurgence of Godzilla in Legendary, is that what really truly brought Bandai back to life? Because it wasn't for the Legendary Pictures movies and people's interest, would they have not really like been like, oh, holy crap, let's do it again, y'all. Godzilla's popular. Let's fucking put out some figures.
There was, and I don't remember the fine details, but there was, and I was doing the stutter in there too. See, it happens. There was a change in management basically at Bandai and or slash Toho, and the person that went in was is a Showa fan. So I think they got the right team in there, people that were paying attention and listening to really what collectors want to see, be it kids that are playing with them or folks like us, But they got a new team of people in there that were paying attention to their market. Like, how many more times do we need reissued Heisei figures? Like, that still happens, but not as frequently as much. And we're getting all this new stuff. These sub-series, like the posing line, all the new stuff. I mean, like, there's just so much. It's too much that you can't even keep up with it all. All the Godzilla store exclusives. It's like good luck to anybody that Shinra Jira. I think he collects it all. Like
yeah, he's
when it comes to like
he does.
stuff, like he should be on here because he's got like I want to say at least everything that's new because somehow he's getting his stuff before it even like hits like the stores in Japan too.
Yeah, I've noticed that, Shin Rob.
But no, but he motivated me to start like talking about Bandai figures. And that's why I started this whole Bandai marathon, and I can't wait to get into like all the other stuff included with the new stuff. But yeah.
Well, right on. Jordan, I'll let you have the lead since you haven't had it really close to the beginning in a while.
Gamera.
I
mean, yeah, it was I wouldn't say 2014 resurrected Bandai, definitely for the Godzilla portion, but there were other things that they were doing prior to that. But I mean, since this is heavily Godzilla based, it definitely helped launch Godzilla into the newer generation. And like I said earlier, Bandai is a part of the journey of being a Godzilla fan. It's what would also, intrigue those to want to get into it if they were to come across a character that they haven't seen that would come to find out to be a part of Godzilla. And especially, I mean, we're probably already going to talk about this later, but with the more obscured characters that they've been doing lately with, Bagan, soon to be released, the freaking giant condor.
I was about to say, where's that? I'm still waiting.
Isn't that
I voted
crazy?
for him.
How in the F did that win? That is just that's
we were robbed. But I mean, even with those specific poll winning figures, with everything that was nominated, we would eventually get a Varan, we would eventually get an Ebra, a Kamakris to go along with more recently the 70-year set, I guess an accurate 68 Anguirus, a Gabra, so it definitely gave us, I guess, Bandai reeled us back in to get back on the hype train when it came down to Godzilla collecting. So, yeah, kudos to, just Bandai for helping us, or not just helping us, but getting us back on those childhood memories.
Yes, absolutely.
For true. Eric?
Yeah, and it's literally all because of the kaiju boom. I mean, the MonsterVerse started it, and we've just been going these last 11 years now, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down. And now we have an Oscar-winning movie, and people are realizing that it's not the corny stuff that they're used to seeing, and it can be serious. And all it's going to do is produce more toys and more money. And why would they stop? I mean, it's a cash grab. Like they're going to keep doing this until it slows down. And they should, honestly. There was so much that they could do. Obviously, in these last couple of years, they have produced so many figures that I never even thought that we would get. And now they're even doing offshoot lines like every other company is doing. We have the pose line now with the 65 we're giving away, and the -1 with the poster version. They're still trying to revitalize and stay on top and show everybody, hey, we're still king. We're still doing this stuff. And, you know, we can take the best shot that you can, because we're going to win overall with quantity and price and availability. And they're throwing their weight around, and rightfully so. You know, they should. I love it and I hate it, because it costs a lot of money to buy all this stuff. And but it's so great to get all these weird, obscure versions of this. I mean, you got the dancing Goji, you got poster versions, you got flying versions now. You got different stages. I mean, we're getting all of it. So it's great to be a Godzilla fan now. But my wallet hates me for it. So.
And there's that art line that they just started too.
Yeah.
What do they called it? I forget the name of it, but it's Godzilla.
I did too, honestly.
Godzilla Japan. Or Japan Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are about
the smaller ones.
Those are like 4.5 inches, give or take. Yeah, but those are artistic, smaller.
Yep.
So
exactly
out there.
They got the new light up featured ones with Burning Godzilla.
Right.
Godzilla.
Yeah, QU's coming out too as a Bandai premium. Yeah.
Oh yeah, premium Bandai was the one that I accidentally left out here, because y'all were saying that with your choices, and I saw it in chat a few times. Somebody said, why hasn't there been any Gargantuas yet? And I meant to answer that question, but it's been buried. Yeah, premium Bandai put out the Gargantuas, Frankenstein from Frankenstein Conquers the World. There's a Ghidorah, which I have. There's a Ghidorah set with both a standard looking one and a rainbow looking one to match the lobby card of what he was initially going to look like. The Godzilla or whatever it's called that Eric said that he likes. Yeah, we have a whole new line. Fake Godzilla, disguise Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, transforming. Just they're starting to come out with these. Yes, a little expensive for my taste, but still cool stuff.
Yeah.
Joe, I think I left you out. Well, that's all right, because I once again do not know what the question was, so I will just say more
I don't even remember what the question
I love
it's just a resurgence of from 2014 to now, like coming out with all the stuff we have.
Pardon me, can you say it again? I didn't hear you.
I said it was basically covering the resurgence from 2014 to now, how it came back after the 2008 to 2014 hiatus, and now that we have what we have.
Yeah, man, it's great. Like, honestly, Adrian says it best. More Godzilla is best Godzilla. More Bandai is best Bandai. I love it. I'm here for it. Sign me up. I collect it all. I want it all. I don't care if it's a $2 figure or a $2,000 figure. It's in my collection. I want it. I love it.
Well, okay, Mr. Big Spanda. Well, knowing what we know about,
I got a kid on the way. I won't be able to spend that way for 2 months.
That's
longer.
Yeah. You better get it all out of the way as fast as you can right now. Well, knowing what we know about what we have now, I have to put this question out there for all to think about. Past versus present.
Ooh.
Is it better or worse? What we've gotten in the past versus what we're getting right now.
Ooh.
Bro.
Who's listening to Pink Pony Club?
What?
my kid.
Your kid, oh, of course. I should have known.
Listen, I have to hear that song 5 motherfucking times a day with my wife. I don't need to hear it now. This is my escape, damn it.
Well, you want me to turn it up? Oh, okay.
Is it Cora or Ruby?
It's Cora.
Cora, you're grounded.
Well, honestly, Rich, I want to give you the floor first, since you're a seasoned collector of this stuff. How do you feel about what we've gotten? I mean, Bandai, what they did versus what they're doing now.
So
is it really better or worse? What do you think?
Like, I feel like that just makes it hard to answer being a collector and being a mature collector. As in mature, I mean, like, you know, having value and appreciating what we have.
We're not mature, you guys.
So the the nostalgia of collecting the 80s and 90s and even the 2000s Bandai figures is just on. You just can't match that because that's how we grew up, and how we collected them. It was like we were doing some drug deal where we had to be sneaky about it. I've never done that, but I'm just saying it's like, oh, these are Japanese figures. They are imported. They really shouldn't be here, type of thing. So that vibe will never be matched. And as for the figures themselves, those also just hold a nostalgia vibe to them. Like collecting a 90s figure today is still way more special than picking up a brand new movie monster series figure today. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the new stuff. It's just when you buy that 8-inch figure from 1993, you're buying a piece of history, and at this point, those figures are considered vintage. They're over than 30 years old. But the new stuff, again, earlier what we were saying, the accessibility, the price point, they're made in abundance. The ways how we can get them. You can buy them from the Japanese Godzilla store through Bai, the American Godzilla store. You can buy them at G-Fest. You can buy them from however many retailers are out there. Showcase Daikaiju, Hobby Link Japan, Hobby Search, where I bought a couple recent ones. So I don't think we're in a situation or a place where what was then is worse than now, or what now is better than then. It's just, I think I feel privileged, honestly, to be able to have what we have, got what I got when I got it, and able to get what we can get now. Even if they're the cheapest of Bandai figures, brand new, it's still just as fun. So I don't think that really answers your question, because I can't pick one side or the other, but I think it's a great time right now for Bandai collectors of all ages and from wherever you started point.
All right, so one of y'all has to go because Rich is now going to be a new honorary member here because we can't top that.
Raise your hand if you want to get Sam off.
Yeah, we voted earlier, Sam. You're out.
Well, speaking of next,
you thought we were kidding. That was a.
We thought you. Let's see who's the next seasoned gentleman in our chat, Joe or Eric. Which one of y'all? Who's more seasoned? All right, Joe. Yeah, your turn.
Listen, I can't say it better than Rich did. It's a great time to be a collector. I'm the first one to admit I have a nostalgia bias. Just that stuff that you grew up on, whether you grew up in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s, what you grew up on is always going to be kind of special. So with that, I will give it to the past. However, it is truly a fantastic time to be a fan of this stuff and a collector of this stuff. It's sometimes like drinking out of a fire hydrant because there's just so much coming at you. But it's a great time to be alive, a great time to be a kaiju fan. So,
right on, Eric. You're next.
I just think it's just a different time. Honestly, it's completely different. I don't think it's good or bad. Yeah, you could complain about quality or paint scheme or paint quality. Like, you're gonna have that, but you get that from a lot of us that are used to the old stuff, that they really took time and effort into really making it and putting out a good product. Now, like I stated before, it's a cash grab. Like they're just pumping these out to get them out to kids, so they can sell more, and they're not going to spend a lot of money on producing these. It's just kind of how it is. But I don't think what they're doing now is bad. I think a lot of the sculpts and stuff is really good, actually. I think there's hit and misses for what they've done, but there's hit and misses for the old stuff too, honestly. I think some of the newer stuff is better than the old stuff, and some of the old stuff's better than the new stuff. So it's just it's great that you have that choice of what you're looking for. If the new stuff isn't hitting it for you, go after the old stuff, and vice versa. It's such a great time to be a Godzilla fan. Like, we're in, honestly, the golden age to be a collector as a Godzilla fan, because there's so much coming out. I mean, from so many different companies, not even just Bandai, just everywhere, from articulated to super. accurate to statues to the little stuff. I mean, it's all there. So it's hard to, I don't think it's bad either way for old or new. It's just good what we're getting now. And I have to agree. Like, I'm so glad that I'm living through this kaiju boom, because a lot of us know we've gone through what I call the dark ages when there was nothing around.
Yep.
You had to search and hunt and find the holy grail like Indiana Jones to find something related to Godzilla. Now it's mainstream. You can find it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. It's in so many different IPs. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling, honestly. So yeah, it's just a good time to be a Bandai collector, especially since I've left it, I've come back, I've left it, I've come back, and it's just as fun now as it was back in the day when I was getting my first one. So
right on. Next down the age list, I believe Adrian. Yeah, I think you're next.
I mean, Rich, Joe, and Eric honestly said everything for the most part. And I completely do agree with them. Whether if you're looking for the I'm vintage now. Jesus Christ. Whether you're looking for the vintage stuff,
we all have to stutter at one point in the show tonight. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. As long as we're looking, whether you're looking for the vintage stuff or you want the brand new stuff that's coming out, there's something for every collector out there. And like Eric said, going through the dark ages in the 2000s was, it was rough. So it's great that we have that. Collectors have so many different options now, whether it's brand new stuff or we can go back in the day and get stuff from back in the day. It's great for everybody.
Cool. Jordan.
You guys heard me say this a bunch of times. We live in a world now where it's cool to be a Godzilla fan. And like before, we were easily looked over, frowned upon, made fun of, etc. And now it is of a hot commodity. It's part of mainstream. I've said this before. I've had people reach out to me from my past, whether it be family that I haven't gotten in contact with for so many years, or just people that I haven't even touched base with in years would reach out and talk to me about, dude, did you see the new Godzilla movie? Or, hey, I just went to Walmart. Look what I found. And they will send me pictures of the Godzilla figures, the Playmate stuff. Or even like a few friends that I have now that they will go to the mall and then they will see like a Bandai product, shoot me a picture, send it to me, see if I have it. Because they're like, if you don't, we'll buy it for you, dude. So it's awesome to see the love that Godzilla's been getting, or just, kaiju overall in general. And again, it has a lot to do with these products that are being out to the public. Eric, you hit the nail in the coffin, dude. We lived in a dark age where there was just nothing there for us. We had to dig like as if we were digging to the earth's core, or we were digging just to find a pot of gold, so to see where we're at now in terms of the collecting perspective is definitely a joy to watch. Mind you, there are a few things I nitpick here and there as, comparing to, what we had and what we're getting now. But hey, listen, I ain't going to yuck somebody else's yum. All right. So,
hey,
listen, I had to take the word. It's true.
No. You can use it. I'll allow it.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Oh, we will.
But yeah, nonetheless, it's it's great to see the publicity that these figures are getting now at days for kids or even adult collectors.
Yeah,
for sure. I am not going to add anything to any of that because y'all said it much better than I ever could. It's the best time to be a collector. I love the old stuff. The new stuff's really cool as well. We're getting unique sculpts that we've never seen before. I mean, come on. We got, even though it's not a fan favorite, we got Godzilla 98 and the 2004 version of the same creature from Final Wars. Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
So that was different and awesome. And it's awesome to be a collector. So last scripted piece that I have to say here, and it actually is kind of what I just said. Last thing of the night that I have to say here about Bandai is Here's to a company that has delivered nothing but quality, quantity, and what I can only describe as quintessential presence to our awesome collecting community. Booyah to you, Bandai. And this will come to a close with our last quick question. I'm pretty sure we can all answer this pretty fast, and this will be this is where we can wrap things up.
You're super awesome. The end.
Is Bandai the king of the figures?
Yes. I would have to heavily say yes. Yes.
I'll just quickly go on down the line. Yeah, Jordan, next up. Joe.
Yes, unequivocally. It's the number one seller at any kaiju convention. I don't care what anybody says. It's not Models. It's not X Plus. It's not Spiral. Any of it. It's not Sofubi. It is Bandai. Bandai is king. Always has been, and for now, always will be. Maybe something will come along and dethrone it one day, but for now, it's to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, Bandai is the man.
Right on. Rich.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yes, they are king. Accessibility and price point. Enough said.
Yep.
Adrian.
They are and always will be king.
Easy.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we've discussed it enough here. There's no question. There's nobody even close.
And that's why I put it last, because I thought we would all say pretty much the same thing. We could quickly summarize after all this talk that we've had over the past 2 hours. I mean, it just all the different properties. It's not just Godzilla. All the tokusatsu that they cover, even not being a big Ultraman or Gamera fan, all that stuff. But before we close out our show, we want to remind everybody once more about the giveaway, which is coming from our lovely bearded gentleman, Mr. Stope. And where are the I'm putting the picture up. So we got these cool items right here. All you got to do is type in hashtag Bandai Love. Make sure you spell it correctly in the chat, and then we will do the generator and give these suckers away to you. That dancing Godzilla, y'all, it's pretty cool, pretty dang cool.
Could be figure of the year this year, so or next year. So you never know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So give you all some
just thank you everybody for joining in. It's been a lot of fun. And we're just, like I said, just kind of a thank you from us to you all. It's fun to interact with the chat, and just we love doing this. And I love doing giveaways. It's a lot of fun to see people partake and just be appreciative of what they get. And I just love giving to people who are fans of stuff that, we are as a whole. So, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube and be on the lookout for more giveaways. We are going to be, this year going forward, it's going to be very giveaway heavy for us, just because, like I just stated, we love doing it and we want to do it more for you guys. So, remember to subscribe to our YouTube and all of our socials. We have a link tree in our description, so go check that out, and you can follow all of our socials there. But with that, I think everybody for the most part has entered. Joe, you got one more thing?
There's a few people putting in hashtag Bandai. Yep. Could I get a quick plug in before we do the giveaway?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we still got
give people time to
give them some time. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. So for those of you who maybe watched our most recent box day, you guys know that I got a few autographs. Well, I didn't just go there to get an autograph. I actually went there to court our next interview, which it will happen with Ray Park. I haven't told anybody this, not even Eric. Surprise, motherfucker. He is very busy and he is traveling actually out of the country. So he did say yes. He actually emailed me back. I just wanted to make that little announcement. So I thought it would be a great time to make that announcement, considering they just re-released, one of the Star Wars.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, episode 3.
So yeah, I thought that was really exciting. So be on the lookout for that here at the MWA.
That's true. Toad as well. Toad from the first X-Men. Yep. That was also He was Toad.
Yep.
Hey, Rich, you still got that double-bladed lightsaber?
Yes, it's downstairs. The Darth Maul one.
Yeah. Well, I think we have waited long enough. We have gotten quite a few Bandai loves in the chat. Eric, give it away.
All right, let's do this.
Because it's 2 hours and 19 minutes into the stream.
Oh, let me redo, because we had a whole bunch of. Let's redo the. Because it said only 4. I was like, no, that can't be.
No, ain't no way. It was way more than 4 in the chat.
Why is it only saying 4 in the chat?
Make sure you guys spelled the hashtag correct.
Unless we just have the same people putting it over and over and over again.
Bandai.
Did I spell it right? Jeez.
Living with dyslexia.
I'm pretty sure I spelled it right. I mean, I don't. If you guys have already put it in the chat, re-put it in the chat. For some reason, it is not counting the previous entries. Maybe there's a time limit on this thing. I'm not really sure how.
Maybe that's a good point.
Does it? But please put your entries back in, and you can be entered into the Bandai giveaway. So then we make sure everybody has that opportunity.
There we go.
To be available.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're increasing. There we go. Keep it going.
There we go. That's better.
Keep it going.
While we're waiting for everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, while we're waiting for everybody to put in hashtag Bandai Love, our next monthly discussion is actually going to be May 18th. We're going to talk about Power Rangers, the movie, the 30th anniversary.
Power Rangers.
Which is kind of cool and kind of topical. If for those of you that saw the Hollywood Demons documentary, and they actually touched on several actors that were in that movie, specifically Jason David Frank. So yeah, it'll be kind of nice to revisit a childhood gem of ours.
Absolutely.
Right on. While we're giving people a few more seconds, Rich, do you have any way that you'd like to plug yourself and socials and whatnot, since you are a special guest today?
Absolutely.
No, honestly, I don't really want to do that. I want to thank you to you guys for having me on. Adrian, Eric, Joe, Jordan, Sam, of course. Honestly, I've been consistently watching you guys for, I think, the past 2 months. And you guys have just been really enjoyable to watch for your kickback, laid back format that you have here. So I'd like to plug you guys. So if you're watching this on my channel, because we are streaming this on my channel as well, make sure you give these guys, there's only like 14 people over there watching. So if you're not subscribed to Monsters with Attitude, that's a mistake, and you need to fix that right now. And make sure you check them out on the Instagram. Boom. Plug that.
Thank you, Rick.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Rick.
you,
Dude,
Rick.
sincerely, damn.
Bro.
Well, refresh the page. Let's see, or does it do it by itself? I can kind of barely make out what it says.
All right, let's redo this here.
Number did tick up. I did see that. I was going to read the exact number.
Much 12 better now.
Yeah.
All right. And here we go.
And away we go.
Oh, we should use the drum roll. Gosh dang it.
Hey,
John McCoy.
Congrats.
John McCoy.
Congrats.
There
Please,
you go.
John, send us an email to monsterswithAttitude90@gmail.com with your information, and I will get that out to you ASAP. Congratulations, and thank you for participating and being a member of our channel.
Indeed. Well, I think that is all she wrote as far as Bandai is concerned. We are hovering around the 2.5 hour mark. It's probably because of all the stuttering, but that's it. Could have been we could have sped run a little bit faster through this if we didn't flub up some words. But I want to thank all y'all for being here and giving me your opinions and saying what you had to say and letting me host this. Bandai's meant a lot to me. It's where I got my start, and I still love to collect the stuff when I can afford it. And it was awesome to be able to communicate with all y'all. And Rich, so glad that you were able to pop in and be a special guest. It's so funny that that was in the back of my mind, and then it lined up as well.
Been a busy day, but fun. So this is a great way to top it off. So thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being a trooper. I know this is your third stream today, so
dude.
Yeah,
I did a video too. So
Jan, you did a video. Okay.
Marathon, man.
Productive. Got to stay productive.
Yep.
Well, sweet. As we've all stated, check out our link tree, and you can see all of our socials in that. We don't have the blue site yet, but you can. We're starting to create an Only Sam's account. It'll happen at some point. Only Sam's.
It will. We got requests already, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, we got a couple in the beginning of the stream that definitely want it. So check out our link tree, so I don't have to say every single one of our socials, and join all the stuff. Subscribe, follow, like, whatever else that is positive towards us. And thank you, everyone. And as per always, what do we like to say here? Of course, everybody embrace. Oh yeah, sorry. The Captain Gordon's Don't Be a Host, share the show. That's Joe's schmo, but I kind of didn't know. So
now you know, you hoe.
I guess I am the hoe. So share the show. Don't be a hoe. All the stuff. Don't you know? And now, of course, don't forget to embrace the attitude. Have a good night, folks.